It's always hilarious to see how Republicans respond to these issues. So check this out. Listen to Congressman Comer, James Comer, on the floor of the House with his righteous indignation. Listen.
Yesterday, we learned that classified documents from Joe Biden's time as vice president were stashed in an unsecure closet. The National Archives knew about these documents several months ago, before the election. But the American people were just informed yesterday thanks to some investigative reporting. Meanwhile, the FBI conducted a raid on former President Trump's Mar-a-Lago residence for the same violation. Why has President Biden, who has repeatedly kept classified materials in an unsecure location for years, never faced a raid? Is it because we have a two-tier system of justice? Just yesterday, we learned that classified documents from Joe Biden's time as vice president were stashed in an unsecure closet.
All right, so let's see. Why was there a raid? Oh, could it be that Donald Trump refused for months and months and months and months to turn it over? And then they discovered that actually the documents were being moved and shipped out. That could be why there was a raid. Here's Pete Aguilar, Congressman Pete Aguilar, Democrat, saying, okay, y'all that hypocritical?
This is Republican hypocrisy at its finest. When the former president had 320 documents found at his personal residence, they said that, quote, that will not be a priority. What President Biden did was disclose this to the archives, let law enforcement know. That is exactly the way that you should handle this.
All right, so joining us right now, Dr. Larry J. Walker, assistant professor, University of Central Florida, as well as Erica Savage, founder of the Reframed Brain. Okay, so this is why I'm sort of laughing here, because it shows you how silly these people can be, Larry. Oh, this is no big deal. Oh, well, Donald Trump did this, no big deal. Why are we doing this? Why was there a raid? The man literally ignored, obfuscated. He pushed them off. He refused to turn the documents over. Biden's folks found them, said, here you go. That's why there was no raid.
So essentially, it's apples and oranges. These are not the same situations of what you had the correspondent from the Griot and you highlighted. So, Roland, listen, there's a big difference between, like you said, President Biden, his personal attorney, following the necessary steps you need to take when there's anytime this kind of classified information is found anywhere that's not secured the way it should be. So he followed the letter of the law. Compared to former President Trump, who tried to utilize executive privilege by saying essentially, I can kind of bless all these documents and, you know, they're mine to own forever. Obviously, you talked about maybe, you know, when they say that some of these classified documents that President Trump had in his private residence were quite sensitive as it relates to, you know, nuclear weapons and various other issues that are serious and could have an impact on national security. But once again, he thought these were he owned these documents and he shouldn't be penalized for that. And then Roland, as we highlighted, he lied about it. So it is attorneys to make it seem like they didn't possess all these documents. The National Archives knew they possessed all these documents. And you highlighted an interesting and important point in terms of the small number of documents in which was reported by President Biden's personal attorney and the hundreds of pages of highly classified information that were in Mar-a-Lago, which is a place we might also add that people frequently come in and out of. And you can't be sure who former President Trump is having dinner with or showing off, as we know he likes to do. So we have no idea what kind of foreign national or other individual knew those documents was there and had access to those documents.
The thing here, Erica, before I go to you, even Karl Rove on Fox News was like, yeah, there's a difference. Watch.
Oh, let's bring in Karl Rove because, well, sounds a little similar, Karl?
Well, there are differences, but you can't make this stuff up. But there are differences. For example, how many documents? In Biden's case, there appear to be about 10. In the case of President Trump, hundreds. How did they get there? We don't yet know how the documents got to the Biden office connected with his activities on behalf of the University of Pennsylvania. We know that President Trump ordered the removal of the documents to Mar-a-Lago. how responsive were they when the Biden people found out about it? They immediately called the appropriate authorities and turned them over. We spent a year and a half watching the drama unfold in Mar-a-Lago, and it had to end in a police search to recover the documents. But still, despite the differences, this is going to create lots of headaches for the Department of Justice in deciding how to handle President Trump's issues, because now they have an issue that, at least in the minds of a lot of ordinary Americans, are going to be conflated as being roughly the same.
Yep.
That's why I think they did a smart thing in turning this over to the U.S. Attorney in Chicago to look at initially, because that's one of the two remaining Trump-appointed U.S. attorneys left in the Justice Department. That and the Delaware U.S. attorney is looking into Hunter Biden. But this strikes me as being very problematic for the Biden Justice.
So this is what.
Look, bottom line, Erica, it ain't the same.
And Karl Rove, honestly, he has nothing to win or lose. He's already made great gains. So what Karl is saying, I wouldn't put a lot of money on that. What I will say specifically in talking about the Republicans, we're talking about the same people who have a slim majority in the House that did not on 1/6. I think it was only maybe one that was peeled off, that actually would stand in solidarity to honor what happened at the Capitol that affected every member on the Hill. So we're talking about people who love chaos, who definitely stood with their chaos agent, the son of a Klansman, from the time that he was on the campaign trail until he exited. So I think in terms of, this discovery, again, there's nothing to conflate. You're talking about not having a warrant executed as was just stated before, at the personal residence to collect documents that did not belong to him. You're talking about, in this case, a personal attorney that made a discovery and did the proper thing. So you have protocol and you have theft. These two things are not the same. And so this is really par for the course. In 2022, we read several articles and pieces that told us exactly what the Republicans would do if they maintained or if they assumed control of the House. And they do have that, slim, but they do have it. And they are operating exactly as they have presented to each person, especially since the advent of Trump, which was to be chaos agents. So the theatrics that we see on the floor is more cover for what they aren't doing to make sure that the power of the purse is executed in the way that it would be most beneficial for Americans. So this is really a separation of personalities if I've ever seen one before. And I just really hope that because Republicans love the theater, they really do well in their messages, social media, making it short and making it seem like it's the two, that this will be really another place for people to really honestly understand that Republicans only want what works best for them, which is power. And that doesn't work for everyday American people, as they love to say in their speeches. And
the key word, Larry, she used there was theatrics. That's what this is. I mean, this is theatrics. That's what we're dealing with. And so just get used to, this is the drama we're going to see for the next 2 years.
Yeah, so Roland, we know the Republicans. Look, we just watched last week. We watched them go through multiple votes, and in between that, run to Fox News or social media or Twitter and highlight their own dysfunction. So we already know, Roland, when I see the Republicans and, we talk about this in classified documents and what we know we're going to see. I'm reminded of the movie, Jim Carrey movie, Dumb and Dumber, when it comes to the Republicans and the antics we saw over the last couple of days and will see. They like drama. They want, like I said, they want to be on Fox News. They want this false equivalency between what the documents related to found President Biden's attorney found compared to former President Trump. And they're not, like I said earlier, they're not the same, but they like drama. They like getting on the floor of the House. And the point I want to make about this Republican House is, Roland, they care more about the drama being on TV, the antics, than governing.
That's it. That's what they do. So, folks, that's what we're going to see. All right, folks, back to our Roland Mark Unfiltered video in just one moment. When you talk about blackness and what happens in black culture, we're about covering these things that matter to us, speaking to our issues and concerns.
This is a genuine people-powered movement.
There's a lot of stuff that
We're not getting. You get it, and you spread the word.
We wish to plead our own cause. Too long have others spoken for us. We cannot tell our own story if we can't pay for it. This is about covering us. Invest in black-owned media. Your dollars matter. We don't have to keep asking them to cover our stuff. So please support us in what we do, folks. We want to hit 2,000 people, $50 this month, raise $100,000. We're behind 100,000, so we want to hit that. Y'all money makes this possible. Checks and money orders go to P.O. Box 57196, Washington, D.C. 20037-0196. The Cash App is $RM Unfiltered. PayPal is R Martin Unfiltered. Venmo is RM Unfiltered. Zelle is Roland at RolandSMartin.com.